spins clockwise, it pulls up cool waters from below, which bring rich nutrients to the surface. That fuels the growth of huge blooms of tiny marine creatures, plankton, the foundation of the entire marine food web. So this part of the reef is particularly rich with fish, vital food for the hungry young. By choosing Heron Island as a nesting ground, the birds can give their nestlings the best possible start in life. Corals are not new to the planet. They've been around for at least 500 million years. The new reefs provided homes for thousands of animals. And very quickly, a whole new community began to establish itself. Today, the Great Barrier Reef has one of the most diverse communities of animals on the planet. And it's the story of these remarkable reef residents that I want to investigate next. This is Lizard Island. It's one of the 600 continental islands scattered across the Great Barrier Reef. And its shallow lagoon is known for its exceptional biodiversity. Here, for the past few decades, there has been a research station where scientists can study continuously and in detail the full complexity of the community of animals that makes up the reef. Thanks to their research, we now know that coral reefs rival rainforests in the vast numbers of species they support. The first question is, where does all that diversity come from? Lizard Island reefs owe their richness to the special plants that in places fringe the shores. They link land and sea, and they're vital to the coral reef community. They're mangroves. Taking shelter amongst the roots are thousands of juvenile fish of all shapes and sizes. Many of these little fish look harmless enough, but when they grow up, they will become some of the most ferocious predators on the reef. Indeed, the existence of these mangrove nurseries is one of the reasons why the fish populations of the reef are among the most varied and richest in the world. The mangroves are not only nurseries, they're playgrounds. The aim of the game here is to survive the most vulnerable stage of any animal's life, being a juvenile. Baby turtles, rays, and even sharks take refuge here. These juvenile black tips are just a few weeks old, and only 1/6 of the size they will be when they make it out onto the reef as adults. For the first year of their lives, the mangroves play a vital role in keeping them safe. As infants, they're vulnerable to predation from larger sharks. But the tangle of mangrove roots keeps the big predators out and stops them making meals of the youngsters. When the young are ready, they will eventually leave this sheltered world behind and make their way to the reef beyond the mangrove roots. The next challenge will be to find their place in one of the most crowded ecosystems on the planet.
All over the world, there are creatures which adapt to their surroundings to make a home that keeps them safe. In the ancient rainforests of Borneo, there's an animal that has created its perfect habitat. It's achieved this by developing a remarkable ability.
The creatures I'm looking for find their food not by sight or smell, but by using a very different and highly advanced guidance system.
One way to find them is to search for their ideal home. A place like that deep black cave beneath me.
This is Tomanton. The cave is a vast network of underground tunnels and cathedral-sized caverns. It was carved out by streams of water over millions of years. And now it's home to a remarkable community of cave-dwelling specialists.
High on the rocky cave ceiling above me, hidden in the darkness, there are vast numbers of bats. You can get some idea of how many there must be because of this huge dune behind me. That's formed of their droppings. Some people think there are 1 million bats up here in this cave.
It's impossible to see them in the gloom. But special night vision cameras can reveal them. Densely packed crowds hanging from the ceiling. Their tiny eyes are adapted to low light, but they cannot penetrate the blackness. Millions of years ago, however, these bats evolved an extraordinary guidance system known as echolocation, or sonar. A bat produces extremely high-pitched sounds in its throat and then projects them forward. They bounce off the walls as echoes and are detected by the bat's huge ears. These are in constant movement and enable the bat to map its surroundings with remarkable precision. Every evening, as dusk arrives, the bats leave the safety of their secluded home to hunt.
And now the bats are beginning to use their echolocation skill to fly out from their roosts in the depths of the cave, coming close to the ceiling and then whizzing out through this little entrance here. They don't collide with the roof, they don't collide with one another, or even with me. All through that echolocation. There they go. But this is just a trickle. The main exodus is taking place up a chimney that's deeper in the cave.
I'm being hauled up 200 feet into the funnel which serves as one of the cave's main exits. To watch close up the way the bats achieve their million-strong mass departure. At the top, there is a gaping hole. And now the bats are preparing to leave.
They've assembled in a relatively small chamber close to the exit and are flying round and round in a great swirling crowd, waiting for daylight to fade. And now, off they go. Outside, danger awaits. Hunters belonging to that other great group of animals with which they share the skies. Birds.
Hawks, eagles, and kites. They are why the bats were reluctant to leave, and why they now do so in one continuous torrent. There is safety in numbers. But some will pay the price.
vast majority, of course, make it